I ain't finished playing just yet. By this point, y'all know me. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And this trash heap is just beginning to burn. Internets, my name is Peridiam, and welcome to 5 times Survivor Players Made Underrated Dumb Moves 2.0. Let's open this video with a series of underrated, not so brilliant moves, debatably some of the worst gameplay in a single episode in all of Survivor. I am talking about the final 7 of Season 20 Heroes vs. Villains. Not the beloved Heroes vs. Villains, where we see Danielle get voted out 4-3 after Russell and Jerry flip their vote. Meanwhile, Parvati loses control of her Goat Dragon hybrid and Russ, and of course, Danielle gets voted out. Can't get much worse than that. Initially, I was just going to talk about how Danielle dug in her heels and made a comment at Tribal Council to Russell about how she's much closer to Parvati than he realizes, which was the last thing she should have said to him. Russell decided to open this round of gameplay by attempting to split up Danielle and Parvati, his 2 closest allies, because of trust issues. He was power hungry and didn't trust that they'd have his back going forward, and so he tried to pit them against one another. So, at Tribal Council, when Danielle exclaims that she's a lot closer to Parv than he realizes, Russell took that cue to flip and whispered to Jerry to do the same. Russell has said postseason, this was when he locked in the decision to vote Danielle out, as he was willing to spare her at one point in time before she had a breakdown at Tribal. And while Danielle's word choice left a lot to be desired, it's gotta be said that Russell's gameplay here may as well be included as another underrated dumb move, because not only does he get caught for making such a rookie mistake by trying to pit Parv and Danielle against one another, thinking they wouldn't talk to each other, he also ticked off the jury when he was kind of an ass to Danielle at Tribal. He also voted out one of the only players he could potentially beat in the end. Even though Danielle wanted to vote Russ out going forward, I guess it's fair to say Russ was kind of in a no-win situation either way. No matter what he did, his win equity was tanking, so I guess shooting himself in the foot to limp to the finish line wasn't as bad as getting voted out 6th or 5th. But when you take into account that not only did Danielle botch this round, as did Russell, you then look at Parvati, who failed to keep Jerry on her side. And then you look at Jerry, who arguably lost the game with this move too, given if the women do vote out the 3 men as the next 3 boots, she wins the final immunity and probably votes out Sandra in 4th. Very results-based analysis, I'm not going to hold it much against her, but hey, worth pointing out. And then Sandra has even said that she wanted to play her idol for Danielle to keep her in the game and send Rupert packing, but she left it back at camp and couldn't play it anyway. Somehow Colby and Rupert are looking the best, and all they did was pretty much nothing.
Parvati and Danielle, to me, they're a team when it's supposed to be me and Parvati. And that's a problem. So the only thing I can think of right now is to break up that couple.
Danielle came to me. She wants to vote you off when it comes down to 5 or 6.
Why would you want to do that?
I'm telling Parvati we gotta get rid of Danielle. I'm telling Danielle we gotta get rid of Parvati. So by working both of them, I got both of them under control.
He wanted to blindside you.
He said that to you?
Yes. He's such a liar.
I'm gonna get Danielle off tonight because it eliminates that pair.
The only thing we have to do is make sure that Jerry doesn't bring your name down.
I'm closer to the Parvati than you think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Okay.
There's no need for us to continue with this conversation.
You're closer than Parvati than I think. That makes me think that y'all got something going on. So I'm gonna have to cut that tie.
14th person voted out and the 6th member of our jury.
And that was just the first move in this video. That could have easily been an entire video of 5. Number 2 is a quicker dumb move, and it's from Season 13 Cook Islands, and it involves the Raro tribe with Adam, Nate, Parvati, Penner, and yes, Candace from the Raro tribe. At the merge vote, the numbers are 5 Raro to 4 I2. But the problem is there's a hidden idol somewhere in the game and nobody knows who has it. For a while, Penner assumed Adam had it because he lied about that, but then Adam said he didn't have it, and then all of a sudden Yul proved to Penner that he actually had the idol the entire time. And this was important, as Penner's main strategy was to follow whoever had the idol. It was a one-way ticket to Final Tribal, and Penner wanted to ride in the side cart the rest of the way. The problem for Penner was that the I24 were gonna vote for him if he didn't flip to their side, which put him in a tough spot. He went back to his Raro tribe mates and asked them if they could vote for Becky or Sundra, as Ozzy had won immunity, and his Raro tribe were like, but why? they wanted to vote for Yul. Yul was the next biggest threat after Ozzy, so why not vote for Yul? Penner doesn't want to rat out that Yul has the idol and burn his trust, but he also doesn't want his tribe to vote for Yul either, as Yul is going to play the idol if they do. But to make matters even worse, not only do the Raro players want to vote for Yul, they also don't even think that he has the idol at all. And when you look at which players went to exile that season up to this point, you kind of gotta wonder what these Raro kids were smoking to think that. The only players who ever went to exile where the idol was hidden were Penner, Adam, Candace, and, wait for it, Yul. Penner, Adam, and Candace were all in an alliance, and they all said they didn't have it. So it's safe to say that if anyone else does have it, it's probably Yul. And even if you're not sure, why not just play it safe and vote out, Becky or Sundra anyway? Pick off a few of Yul's numbers and then burn the idol when it's safer. The Raro tribe made such an easy avoidable bad move here voting for Yul, they forced Penner into a corner despite knowing he was the man in the middle, and so he decided to just flip on them because they were too dumb to help themselves. Or him. Also, Jonathan probably should have lied to Yul and said that he wasn't actually voting for him and then done so just to burn the idol, but I get why he didn't. He could have been on the receiving end of it, and yeah, it's a tough spot.
I have the numbers, but if I was with the guy who had the idol all along, and I have to flip back, that's a fantastic twist.
Raro. They want to vote for Yul right now. They think he's the mastermind.
But if Yul has the idol,
It's going to be me that goes home, because they're all going to vote for me.
I don't have it.
Yeah.
You don't have it. If we vote for Yul, and Yul has it, we're going to find ourselves going home for no good reason.
So the hypothetical is a reality. This is the idol.
My only concern about Yul is he's the only other guy who's been to exile.
Yeah.
Do you have the idol?
These people aren't thinking. I don't believe they're smart enough. They don't want to put the mental energy into even running the scenario of what if Yul actually has it.
You don't want Yul for the challenges. Okay. I mean, I agree. I just need intelligent. I do not want that boy thinking anymore. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that clock ticking there, homie.
12th person voted out and the 4th member of our jury.
And speaking of Jonathan Penner, let's put the shoe on the other foot and talk about season 25 Philippines, when Penner makes a very easily avoidable mistake by turning down Lisa and Scoopin's offer to join them in a 4-person alliance that would control the endgame. This was a baffling decision from Penner that I can't even say was a rookie mistake, but it definitely was. There were 8 people left in the game, and Lisa was looking ahead to what happens at the final 7. 4 people controlled the vote, and given there were going to be 3 duos left in the game, and then Abby Maria, Lisa wanted to link up with one of the duos and lock in a final 4 plan. Makes sense. And between Denise and Malcolm, or Penner and Carter, she trusted Penner more and went to Penner first, which I also think was a good decision on her part. Except after she went to Penner and proposed the plan, he said they should stick a pin in it and get back to the conversation when they reached that point in the game. In other words, it kind of came across like he was turning Lisa down, and she wasn't happy to hear that. Penner, she's looking for an insurance policy. Just say yes, nod your head, give her what she wants to hear. I think Penner hadn't really thought through what he wanted to do at that point, and so he just didn't make any empty promises he didn't think he could keep. But then Penner, it's Survivor. That's kind of the name of the game. This is your 3rd time out, buddy. Because Penner doesn't accept this deal, Lisa and Scoopin get back to Denise and Malcolm and lock in a final 4 with them that they had also proposed to Lisa and Scoopin. This dooms Penner to an early demise that was otherwise totally avoidable. And when you got Mike Scoopin making strategic sense about your decisions, you know you're doing something wrong. A complete unforced error that ends Penner's game before he knew it, and man, had he taken that deal, Lisa and Scoopin wanted to take him to the final 3, and there's a decent chance he wins this season.
When somebody wants to take you to the final 4, you have to say strategically, heck yes. Because if you say no, then you could end up on man out.
Who do you trust more, Penner or Malcolm?
Oddly enough, Penner.
All right, maybe have a conversation with Penner.
I personally am more than comfortable taking care of business one thing at a time. I really am comfortable taking care of Abby and Peter, but I'm not that interested in
Committing anything to anybody.
He said, let's just kind of get rid of these two and see how that shakes down. So, I think you missed an opportunity.
My mistake, of course, was I was playing both ends against the middle without making a commitment to anybody. That was probably my mistake. I did not choose a side.
12th person voted out and the 5th member of our jury. Dennis, you can bring me your torch.
Yeah.
Bye, can I have a hug too?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna hug anybody else.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? Let's not stray too far from these beaches, as the 4th underrated dumb move is only 3 episodes later at the final 5 after Lisa and Scoopin take out Penner and Carter for Penner's dumb move. They get to a crossroads where they're now able to make either a potential game-winning move or straight up lose the game. So, of course they lost the game. So we're at the final 5 of season 25, The Philippines, and Malcolm won immunity, which meant Lisa and Scoopin could either vote out Denise or Abby. Abby was kind of a goat. She was being dragged through the game screaming and bleeding, and it would take hell freezing over before she won the jury vote. Lisa and Scoopin did make a deal to take Denise to the final 4 though, a player who would go on to beat them in our timeline. So what does a Survivor player do? The age-old question, do you win $1 million or keep your word? Lisa actually wanted to vote out Denise here alongside Abby, but she was blocked by Scoopin, who delusionally believed that he was the front runner and could beat anyone left in the game. He was wrong. Not the first time and won't be the last, Scoopin decided he would have his cake and eat it too by keeping Denise, keeping his word, and subsequently keeping his hands off the $1 million prize. Scoopin's dumb move may not have cost him the game, as he was likely going to lose to Lisa anyway, but it did rob her of the money. And that would only be the beginning of the crimes that he would commit that would eventually land him in prison after this season. Seriously, check Wikipedia.
I think that if you guys vote me off, that's gonna be a disaster. You guys are not gonna have a chance against Denise and Malcolm. They have such a story. Bringing me to final 3 with you and Lisa is, you know, I'm being very humble here. It's the best chance you have at winning this game.
14th person voted out and the 7th member of our jury. Abby. Abby, the tribe has spoken.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna set up camp here in the Philippines and finish this video with 3 straight underrated dumb moves from the same season in a row. Yup, 1 episode later from season 25, The Philippines, we are now at the fated final 4. The one Penner put a pin in that Scoopin blew up Lisa's chances to win for, where Lisa, Scoopin, Denise, and Malcolm are coming back from the reward challenge and waiting to go to the final immunity challenge of this season. Because there's 2 duos left, you would think that we would see a tie vote, right? Well, Lisa and Scoopin had a deal with Malcolm to take him to the final 3. Meanwhile, Denise was kind of on the outs. So Denise approaches Malcolm, her #1 ally from the very beginning, and asks him if he wants to ride it out to the end together. They just vote together at the final 4, hope they win the fire challenge, and go head to head in front of the jury. But because Malcolm already had a final 3 deal in place without her, he waffled with his response. He basically pulled a Penner and said that he wasn't sure what he wanted to do yet, when in reality he had already told us that he wanted to vote Denise out. Her story was very similar to his, and she was his stiffest competition, no question. The winner was basically going to be either Malcolm or Denise, so Malcolm doesn't really want to work with Denise here. But then I ask you, Malcolm, why on God's green earth could you just not lie to Denise and say, absolutely, I'll work with you, vote with you at the last vote? What a story that would be. Together to the end. It's poetic. I don't know. Make it up. It would also be a lie, but heck, it's better than what happened. Because Malcolm waffled and made his intentions crystal clear to Denise, she realized she was in hot water and immediately went to Lisa. She asked Lisa if they could vote out Malcolm, and Lisa was already totally down for that. Malcolm was likely the frontrunner anyway, and Lisa kind of wanted Malcolm out for several rounds now. Even if Scoopin was delusionally siding with Malcolm, which wouldn't be the first time, they would still make it a 2-2 tie against him, which was better than just rolling out the red carpet for his inevitable win. But Scoopin went with Lisa this time and voted Malcolm out, breaking his word. Whoops. And it's kind of unfortunate because I think it would have been a really great ending to have both Denise and Malcolm at that final tribal. Denise winning was a great story anyway, but the fact that it came down to Malcolm's dumb decision to waffle so blatantly, to push Denise away, to not realize he wasn't invincible. He was working with Lisa and Scoopin of all players. He was potentially 1 lie away from winning, and nope, now he's just a pre-merge boot on Game Changers.
Everything's going exactly as I planned. I have a final 3 deal with Lisa and Scoopin. I think I can beat him at the end. I absolutely think I could beat Denise at the end, but she's the hardest person to beat.
Are you willing to commit at all with me? Or at the very least, make it a tie?
I'm definitely overthinking it, but I won't do this to you for forever because I know I'm just being awful.
And he's just very hesitant to make any kind of commitment. This is kind of scramble time. And I need to figure out a plan and figure it out fast. I'm getting like flashbacks to Penner. Like, Malcolm, are you able to make any commitment for Final 3? Oh, we've got time, and we don't need to worry about that yet, Jungle Mom. And I'm like, that's all I need to know.
Today's been a good day. I just found out that Denise is willing to turn on Malcolm and go to the Final 3 with Mike and me.
15th person voted out and the 8th and final member of our jury, Malcolm.
Congratulations, Denise.
And those are 5 times Survivor players made underrated dumb moves 2.0. Let me know what you think about these moves and if there are any others you'd want me to consider talking about in the future. A big thank you to my patrons for not waffling on your decision making. I will gladly face the jury with you hand in hand. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to afford yourself the ability to lie on Survivor on occasion on your way out. And I will see you in the next one, once I, too, believe I can beat anyone in the end. In anything in life, for the matter. Being delusional is not a bug. It's a feature.
Malcolm said, congratulations on your $1 million, Denise, meaning she was gonna run away with it. I'll have a lot to say about that tomorrow.
One of my family mottos is, are you gonna watch the news today or make the news?
Scoop it. I don't think your name, and you guys will correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think your name has been written down one time in this entire game. You were able to avoid having your name written down even once. You may find that you have a perfect record even after tonight.